Your
In the murk of twilight's glow, tales of horror gently flow through the annals of the past. Mysteries we seek to cast. In the shadows secrets lie, truth that time cannot deny. Voices echo, stories blend. In the night they never end. True crime tales that chill your spine. Cold cases lost in time. Duo murders dark and grim. Pique your interest, drawing you in. Every mystery left behind. Whispers creeping in your mind. Covering all sorts of crime. Stories twisted but sublime. Digging deep through every sign, true crime passion so divine. Hidden clues begin to speak, shadows dance where killers creep. Unsolved threads we strive to keep, burning questions never sleep. Every mystery left behind, whispers creeping in your mind. Covering all sorts of crime, stories twisted but sublime.
Fucking hell. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into True Crime Duo Does a Crime. Smash me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Fucking behave, but Vindaloo, fucking whatever you were saying, fucking Kumar and Patel.
Harold and Kumar.
Fucking Harold and Kumar. I'll give you bastard Harold and Kumar. Cheeky beat. Do you know what I'm saying? Can't behave, can they? You know what I'm saying, ladies?
Yeah,
you can't
be polished.
Some people.
That's why we're not polished.
For this one, we can actually blame the chat.
Exactly that, yeah.
Yeah, we're sweet and innocent.
How are we doing, Cruisy Love? All good?
All right, not bad, yeah. I enjoyed yesterday, though.
Yeah. I gathered. Thought you two were going to come up blows on the stream. I can't lie, I'm getting a bit worried. I don't know. I bought clumps of hair. I'm going to start coming out.
Yeah, you know, physically yet, Jess. There's still time.
Very true.
Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, she'll see me though.
Film it and send it to me. I can put it up as a clip. Clip. Fuck's sake. We'll get there. How are you doing, Renee? Love, all good?
Yeah, hanging in there.
How
about you?
You're hanging in there when you've listened to this Dennis Nilsen one, all right?
Oh, God.
Stacey, all good, love, yeah?
All good, darling. Right. Jules, darling, has just popped your name up on the list already. I was going to do the Memphis 3 next week. No, sorry, week after. But because it's such a complex and twisty case, I'm going to have to do it for a few weeks because there's so much in it. And I've only watched one documentary, and Renee said I need to watch more because it's just so much in it. It is so... When you from the first documentary I watched anyway, you think it's one thing and then bam, they throw another one in there to confuse you. Watch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. He's gonna get slapped.
I love that movie, by the way.
Listen, next time he finds a fanny, he's gonna find it with fangs like that. What? Sorry, that polishness, but Vingers, get fucked, fucking Butch Cassidy. Yeah, well, I'd like it to be polished, but there's no point, is there? I don't know why we try, ladies.
Isn't it?
Get through this chat and then we'll get on to this. Big up, Kevin. Well,
Like
yes,
yeah,
definitely. If you're not careful, you'll be finding somebody that'll be butting your head.
Yeah, feel some butt.
Oh.
I'm Butch.
Yeah, definitely. She's Butch. She's Butch. I'm Butch's, and she can be beautiful. That one. Good. See, it'd be nice. Then Jules has to take it to a whole new level, doesn't she?
The best one was when she put Cagney and Lacey. I think she was trying to put Cagney and Lacey.
Have I got past that now? Cagney and Lacey.
Get it all out.
Yeah, get it all out now. Vindaloos, get
all
fucked.
out now.
No, it ain't. You started it, are you, Jules?
What did you say?
I was in love.
She'll come down and see she'll be next week's crime story.
Why? Who's gone?
No, sorry.
I don't know what was.
Go on, Jules. Go on, girl, darling. Use the power. Abuse the power.
Right over to you, Stacey. Love, I'm ready to go when you are.
Right. I like how she paused. I like how she muted to celebrate. Anywho.
Cruiser. 1 minute, Stacey, before you do. I've heard that you've got a new CD player. Do us a favour, love, and get it fit by somebody professional. I don't want to end it up on fucking roof. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not a CD player. It's just
stereo.
a normal touchscreen stereo.
Please don't put it in. We'll take the feedback all apart. Leave it to somebody that knows what to do.
Ruby, just zip tie it in. It'll be fine.
What is it with this drawing going off the kids? Well, let's go. But let's get it all out. Let's go.
Professional.
All right, Cagney and Lacey, are we ready to go?
We're ready to go. Let's go.
Right. I know my mum and Jess know this person. Renee, how familiar are you with Dennis Nilsen?
I've seen like a 30-minute TV show on him and got really freaked out.
Well, he is dubbed, this might help you, he is dubbed the UK version of Jeffrey Dahmer.
What a guy.
Yeah, so it kind of gives you an inkling. I think it's because he actually went for men, not. Like just, it is very similar to Dahmer.
Oh, dear.
I know she can't buy the jewelry.
So cannibalism too, huh?
Oh yeah, he was grimming Rennie, right?
I don't think I've put anything like that in the presentation because something we can discuss it. You know what I mean? Rather than have it all in.
Can anybody explain what that is before we go though?
Okay, guys, don't get snacks for this one, okay? Just leave the snacks until later.
Yeah, don't get snacks for this one.
Yeah, no. Maybe get yourself a beer, but leave off the pretzels, maybe.
Yeah. Leave off the meat. If you've got any meat, I would advise you not to eat it.
No.
Whatever's not in the presentation, Jess and my mum, bring it up.
Feel free. Let's go, Stacey. Let's go.
I'll leave it out. So then people can just add their own opinion. Right. Let's get this. So this is Dennis Nilsen. It's a young photo and his mugshot.
Looks like Sutcliffe to me.
Yeah. A lot of people will say that, especially his young photo. Very similar to.
Got a bit of Craig on it.
He's got them horrible black eyes. Have you noticed most of them have got them eyes?
What reminds me of Sutcliffe is he had those really black eyes, you know.
It's like abyss eyes, isn't it? Like you're staring into the abyss.
Creepy.
Yeah, we always say the eyes of the window to the soul, don't they?
Indeed.
Yeah. He had no soul. Moving swiftly on.
That's why his eyes were black pits. Go on.
So this is actually a quote from Dennis. As is my desire, the most futile creature in my universe is sleek, slim, male youth.
Oh, you creep.
He was creepy. He was. So, who was Dennis Nilsen? Dennis Nilsen was a serial killer born in Fraserburgh, Scotland. Although Nilsen acknowledged his homosexual inclination, he never felt at ease with them and began to express these feelings through murder and dismemberment. His first victim was in 1978, and he confessed to killing 12 young men and dissecting their bodies. When police apprehended him in 1983, it quickly became clear that if they had connected a series of reported incidents from fortunate escapees over the previous 5 years, they may have been able to stop his horrific killing spree much earlier.
Like Dahmer.
Yes, this is why people are saying it's very Dahmer-esque.
Yeah.
F.
What a creep.
I mean, to murder somebody's bad enough, in my opinion, but then to start dismembering the body and doing what he did to those bodies were absolutely grim. And bless up to Dinah Rod, because if it wouldn't have been for Dinah Rod, that fucker would have still been gone.
Yeah.
Because he was putting bones and flesh down the toilet. And
not many serial killers could turn around and say that they were found out by Dinah Rod.
He's got to be the only one that's been found out by Dinah Rod, let's be honest.
Yeah. Gotta be.
Yeah. Not that's how he was caught.
I mean, I'm not being funny, you know. I mean, listen, we all have a strong nose for some things, right? But how could he live in that house with all them bodies in there? That smell. Oh my Lord!
How did the neighbors not start complaining about the smell?
They never did. All they complained about a smell, but all they were bothered about were drains being blocked. Because suppose if they want to run up for drains, this fucking would have still been going on.
It could be still going on.
And he was a civil servant. He works for a job centre.
Oh,
exactly. And that was what happened over here with Dahmer.
Yeah, he was also.
That's right. What Kevin's saying there is bang on the money, because I suppose in the 70s and 80s being gay were a bit shunned upon, wasn't it? It wasn't like how it is today. Even though it's still not accepted wholly today, it's a lot better than it was in the 80s. And he always went for people that he kind of knew wouldn't be missed.
Yeah, and same thing over here. I mean, that's why Dahmer, you know, that boy, that young guy got out of his apartment, was like running naked down the road, and like the police intercepted the kid and turned around and gave him back to Dahmer, because Dahmer was like, "Oh, lover spat," you know, like it was. They just thought it was a big joke, and he killed that kid. It's really horrendous.
He would a bit thingy though, because some of them he'd let them go. He wouldn't murder all of them, so he'd bring a lot of gay men back, but he would pick and choose. Oh, we didn't kill, which was strange.
Don't you think that'd give you like serious PTSD if you're one of the people that survived?
One of them dead.
Well, you want to see what he's done to one of the blokes. He can never talk the same when he strangled him and put his head in bath, because he had this, he drowned him and stuff, and the guy, you can tell. Yeah.
He was in a sleeping bag.
Yeah. He was a strange one with Dennis Nilsen.
Like Jess said, this bloke is ruined for life. And he actually was brave enough to go to court, and Nilsen's solicitor or barrister
Nilsen
brought up his promiscuous.
He was a constable. You're right, Kevin. He was a constable in police. He lasted a year. He didn't like it in police force, so he went on to be a civil servant. But you're spot on. Wasn't
there something funny about him? That surname Nilsen, like that sounds Scandinavian to me. Wasn't one of his parents Scandinavian? His dad, maybe.
Maybe his dad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. 1 minute, right? So, she's 1945 born, Fraserburgh, Aberdeenshire, the second of 3 children born to Elizabeth Duffy White and Olav Magnus Mokashem, who had adopted the surname Nilsen. Moshkin was a Norwegian soldier who had travelled to Scotland in 1940 as part of the Free Norwegian Forces following the German occupation of Norway. After a brief courtship, he married White in May 1942, and the newlyweds moved into her parents' residence. So he was Norwegian, the father. Yeah.
Okay, and so the wife was Scottish then. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought that was a Scandi last name.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're spot on.
Right, so Nilsen was born on November 23rd, 1945 in Fraserburgh, Scotland. His parents had an unhappy marriage, which led to Nilsen, along with his mother and siblings, living with his maternal grandfather, whom he cherished deeply. Nilsen stated that the sudden death of his beloved grandfather, when he was only 6 years old, along with the traumatic experience of viewing his body at the funeral, contributed to his later behavioural issues. Afterwards, his mother remarried and had 4 additional children, which left Nilsen feeling isolated and lonely. Recognising his homosexual feelings, he reported to have no sexual experience during his teenage years, and at the age of 16, he joined the army. He trained as a cook and worked as a butcher in the army catering corps, acquiring the skills that would later aid him during his 5-year killing spree.
Well, I suppose if you are a butcher, or like that, you do know how to cut. If you cut it, I know cutting meat. I know that sounds really grim and it's a comparison, but cutting meat to cutting a body is probably the same thing, isn't it? Really,
It's quite similar.
Like you hear about that with hunters, like if you can field dress animals, then you can do it with people.
Yeah,
that's exactly what Tony's dad used to be. He used to work in the army, the catering corps, and he could make anything. That's quite scary.
That's probably why he just could do it. He was like second nature, like cutting bodies up to him because in army. Like there were no, like I know for a fact. I don't know about you ladies, but I would gag. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I don't think I could do it.
You got to have a very strong stomach.
Yeah,
you would.
Unless
you've got power tools, you've also got to be pretty strong too. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, that's gross.
And I don't think Rennie, I don't know if it stays here, but I don't actually think he used anything electrical, did he, to cut the bodies up?
Nope.
It was all knives and stuff on it, like mallets. You know what you were on about, but do you, Rennie?
All hand.
All by hand. And all in the house as well. Or what he'd do is, he lived in a few places, I think, did Dennis Nilsen, and he would burn the bodies in a fire, try burn the bones.
In the first flat he lived in, he was in a downstairs, so he had access to a garden. So the majority of his victims were burnt beyond recognition.
Yeah. And then he was in the top flat in the second one, wasn't he, where he had no garden.
So he used the floorboards and stuff.
Oh God.
Oh yes.
Right. After leaving the military in 1972, he began, as Kevin has rightly put out, he began police training, where he developed a keen interest in more visits and autopsy corpses. Although police work provided him with opportunities to indulge in his morbid interests, he ultimately resigned and transitioned to a recruitment interviewer. Nilsen's first official encounter with law enforcement occurred in 1973. David Painter, a young man Nilsen had met through his job, alleged that Nilsen had taken photos of him while he was asleep. Painter was so outraged by this that he required hospitalization following their altercation. Nilsen was taken in for questioning regarding the incident, but was later released without charges being filed. Well, if I watched a documentary, I think at the time this was actually reported, it was one of his former police officer friends that interviewed him. And he actually turned around and said to the police officer that he reckons Nilsen would be doing a lot more dangerous things and he was spot on.
And I bet he was doing stuff in them morgues. Don't tell me he wasn't doing... What do they call that when they do things to dead bodies?
Necrophilia.
You want to necrophilia, anyone? With some bodies... I mean, how can you get, like, a keen interest in dead bodies?
I do not know.
The grandfather... Seeing his grandfather's dead body.
Yeah, all right. But I'm sure you guys in your time have seen a corpse in a coffin, dead. I have personally.
Yeah. I've seen a few dead bodies. That sounds grim, but I've been to an open casket funeral as well.
Yeah, and I've even cleaned dead bodies. So you know what I mean. It's not like
I don't have this obsession with them, was it? Do you know what I mean?
No. It sounds like a song. Early life continued. In 1975, he began living with David Callaghan in a garden apartment located at, as we mentioned, 195 Melrose Avenue in North London. Despite Callaghan's denial of any homosexual relationship between them, this arrangement lasted for 2 years, and when Callaghan departed, Nilsen's life started to decline into a state of alcohol dependency and isolation, ultimately leading to his first murder 18 months afterwards.
I don't think he could deal with being lonely, Stacey.
Yeah. No, he couldn't.
He had this fear of being... But every one of us in our own way on this stream or in general are lonely at some point.
Yes.
You know, like Rennie lives on her own, for example, but that doesn't mean Rennie then feels the need to go out, pick a bloke up, bring him back home, murdering him and sitting him in a chair talking to him because... Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I've never done that, not even one time. No.
Well, I would have thought not, Renee, love. You know what I'm saying?
Not even
I mean, I
the
know
word.
people are lonely out there, but not to what he did. Absolutely not. No. And I know he was a bit of an alcoholic. He did like a drink and stuff like that. But that's the thing. That he never said that was a relationship, but I do believe it was because it was companionship for him, because it was all right when he lived with him. He'd never committed murder. It's after he'd gone. He just didn't want to be on his own. He had this absolute anxiety of being alone, which is scary, really, to think. That leads you to doing that. Big up, Cody.
Right, going again on us.
No, fuck off you with them lampshades, you scruffy cow.
He's on the list to cover, you know. Oh, hang on. Dogs are going to fight 1 minute.
The dog's always having a fight.
Always.
Spray bottle him. That's what you want to do.
I thought she said my dad's having a fight, and I thought, can't Susie just handle that?
Hey, listen, it's bad enough finding out that it took 4 that moved that frigging trailer from one garden to this garden. And I was the only person that moved it from my garden around into Bay. Slick print it.
Well, they don't call you Butch Cassidy for now, cruising, love.
I'm like, Dave went to another 4.
It's on his days.
No, you would be trying to sort the dogs out. Right. We're going to get into his crimes now.
Let's go.
Nilsen became increasingly disturbed by his sexual encounters, which only seemed to reinforce his loneliness when they were over. He met his first young victim in a pub on December 29, 1978, and invited him home, as he had on previous occasions. The next morning, overcome by a desire to prevent the young man from leaving, he strangled him with a tie before drowning him in a bucket of water. Taking the corpse to his bathroom to wash it, he then placed it back in his bed, later remarking that he found the corpse beautiful. He attempted to have sex, unsuccessfully, and spent the night sleeping next to the dead man. He finally hid the corpse under his floorboards for 7 months before removing it and burning the decaying remains in his back garden.
Just stop there, Stace. Can you imagine what that body looked like after 7 months under that floorboards, right?
Smelled like.
And he just picks it up and puts it in garden like it's a joint of lamb.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been grim. And the smell.
Smell like. Ugh.
Oh, that's grim. He has got one strong motherfucking stomach. That guy's got no emotion whatsoever.
No.
Nilsen had another close call with the police in October 1979 when a young student accused Nilsen of trying to strangle him during a bondage play session. Despite the student's claims, no charges were pressed against Nilsen. So there again, he's got they had him in their grasps because no charges were filed. He got away with it again.
Well, the thing is, right? So I know he had this thing of like bringing blokes back, all right, or if it were women, vice versa. But if he were that inclined on being lonely, why didn't he just ask him to stay? Why just go to presume and go ahead and kill him anyway? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's face it, Stacey. If you're a homosexual back in them days, right? Well, not a lot of them. They were all on the streets, majority of them. You're telling me they wanted to stay there for companionship. That's what I don't get with him, why he did that. Because I'm sure they'd have fucking stayed anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
And what an evil way to kill him, Stace. To then strangle him, but then drown him, and then get him dressed, clean him up, and put him back into his bed, knowing he's dead, and then trying to get a thrill by having sex with him when he's dead.
Yeah.
It amazes what the mind
exactly
can bend it to. But no. It's scary.
Very.
And yet, that's another claim being made against them, and they still got away with that. So that's a couple now, and it's like, nah, just forget it.
The busies though haven't done the job after again.
No, they haven't. Nilsen met his second victim, Canadian tourist Kenneth Ockenden, at a pub on December 3rd, 1979. After a day filled with sightseeing and drinking, which concluded at Nilsen's apartment, he once again gave in to his fear of abandonment and strangled Ockenden to death using an electrical cable. He disposed of the body in the same manner as before, spent the night sharing his bed with it. He took photographs, engaged in sexual acts, and ultimately concealed the corpse beneath the floorboards, frequently removing it to converse with it as if Ockenden was still alive.
No.
So he would actually put him in a chair.
Yeah.
And sit opposite him and have a conversation with him like he was still alive.
Put TV on, a record player on, and cook food for him like they were, like he was still alive.
Yep.
But how can you reconvene with somebody, Stacey, when they're decomposing?
Exactly.
Like that is a whole new level of grimness. It's sick.
I just can't. It's the smell for me. Like, have you ever had chicken that's gone bad? And
Yes, the smell of it.
Oh, exactly, and that's just a
After
little.
7 months, Rennie, taking a body out from under floorboards after 7 months. I mean, I'm not saying it'd be more like skeleton, but the smell of it when he's lifted them floorboards up.
Oh my God!
I watched one where I can't remember what program it was, but a guy had done the same thing, and they opened the door and walked in. There was cat litter all over the house. And apparently, it's the only thing that would stop the smell of decaying bodies was cat litter.
You've worked in an old pig shop.
The cat litter I use doesn't even like you got to clean it every day, or you smell cat piss. Like, so
Yes.
I find it crazy.
Exactly. Even the most expensive cat litter that you use, Rennie, it still fucking stinks. I used to use that cat salmon I had mine, and it still stinks.
And that's cleaning it every day.
Yeah.
Man, they
Absolutely.
must have some good cat litter. That's all I can say.
It's like you reckon
He used to be nose blind to live in that. Having got floorboards. He must have been. And fucking, mind you, we were on ground floor in that flat, so I kind of get that. One,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's colder as well. It being in the floor.
True.
So his third victim, some 5 months later, was Martin Duffy, a homeless 16-year-old who he invited to spend the night on May 13th, 1980. As with his first victim, Nilsen strangled and then drowned him before bringing him back to bed. Sorry, guys, and masturbating over the teenager's corpse.
Gracious.
Duffy was kept in the wardrobe for 2 weeks for John Ockenden under the floorboards.
So that's somebody's under the floorboard.
But that's putting him in a wardrobe for 2 weeks, so then he will have decomposed. You know what I'm saying? That smell. And then just putting him under floorboards with another body, thinking it's like burial site underneath fucking floorboards. It's absolutely gruesome.
Did warn you guys.
It is gruesome, though, isn't it? I do believe he's one of the most gruesome ones in England that we've had as a serial killer.
Yeah, he has. He's up there.
Agreed.
His subsequent victim was 27-year-old prostitute Billy Sutherland, who unfortunately followed Nilsen home one evening. He was also strangled. And one of his victims, 24-year-old Malcolm Barlow, an orphan with learning disabilities, was quickly killed by strangulation. By 1981, Nilsen had murdered 12 men in his apartment, with only 4 of them being identifiable. Considering his tendency to target the homeless and unemployed in a large urban area, this is less likely shocking than it would be in a smaller community.
Well, to be fair, Stacey, in his sense, the people that he went for wouldn't have been missed.
That's exactly where they go after prostitutes.
Let's face it, police, with certain things, as rape against women, shall we say, they're not interested in. Homosexuality in the 80s, the busies weren't interested. Let's be honest. It were quite a stigma. So those people that went missing, they'll have known they were homosexual anyway, and they'd have thought police not really care, to be honest.
Can you see why he was dubbed UK Jeffrey Dahmer, though?
Absolutely. Like, it's all new level of murdering somebody and it doing what he did to them bodies after, or enduring, or putting them in a bed and masturbating over them, or it's not normal behaviour. That, and listen, his childhood wasn't that bad. I mean, I know he had it tough with his they're finished and Shireen married, but it never came out that he was abused as a kid or that there were anything really other than his granddad dying. So you're telling me his granddad dying at 6-year-old triggered all that off?
No.
Really? I believe loneliness triggered that off. He had this fear of being on his own. Facts. Because when he lived with somebody for 2 years, Stacey, before he kicked all this off, he was happy with the companionship. That's what he was looking for. But to go kill him because they wanted to leave and then do what he did to him is despicable, in my opinion. I can't lie.
Agreed.
Jules.
Nilsen asserted that he entered a killing trance, and on 7 separate occasions, he actually released the men instead of completing the act, as he managed to break free from it. Unfortunately, most of his victims were not as fortunate. By the time Barlow was murdered, Nilsen had to conceal him under the kitchen sink, as he was quickly running out of space to store the bodies. Several cops hidden throughout the apartment. He had to spray his room twice daily to eliminate the flies that emerged from the decaying bodies. When neighbours raised concerns about the order, he persuaded them it was due to structural issues within the building.
I mean, he only had to spray his room twice a day, Rennie. I'm shocked. I thought he'd been fucking spraying all the time. Imagine how many you've seen programs where, I don't know if anybody's ever watched programs in general where somebody's died and they've gone in for call alive, or they've gone in and got into house police and the bodies are there and the flies are all up the window and everything. Can you imagine how bad his house really was, with blue bottles, flies, all that sort of stuff? And this guy just thinks it's normal to get an air freshener out and fucking spray.
He must have those Christmas tree air fresheners everywhere.
He did. Yeah. Do you know the weird thing you were saying that? He did used to do that.
I was going to say, it was like that movie 7. You remember that? Where the air freshener?
Yeah.
And now he's getting out of space. This is how bad he's getting. He's putting them under your kitchen sink. You know this space under your kitchen sink.
It wouldn't fit under mine.
Oh, 1 second, guys. My house phone's going off. 1 minute.
You know, as well as I do, Cruzy, sticking a body underneath where your sink is, there's not much room under there, Cruz. The
I was going to ask you what y'all got under there, Narnia, because I fit a person.
I can fit one of them under Mrs. Biddy's, not with fucking sink and then pipe that comes down. You've got no chance.
No, yeah, y'all got some magic areas under y'all sinks there, because it's just, I can barely fit what I need to fit under there.
It's lovely because when neighbours raised concerns about the smell, he persuaded them that it was due to a structural issue with the building. What a smell is.
Well, the thing is, right, if there was a structural issue with the building, why wouldn't they inform about the structural issue with the building?
And then why did they go to the landlord then if it was a structural issue?
Exactly.
Why did they take it further instead of listening to him? Because he was only a tenant in that house when all said and done. So why did these always... So he must have had some convincing to say, well, actually, no, it's, I don't know, cracks in fucking plaster or something, or it's subsided. There's no way you can put that in to a structural damage.
I think they also shared the house upstairs, though, innit, as well. What kind of mentality they had. Did they smell it, but did they click on?
Absolutely not. He didn't have planning permission.
Yeah, I mean, I know the smell of death because I've smelled it myself, do you know what I mean? And it's
you walk into LGI or St. Jimmy's, you can smell death in there as soon as you walk through the fucking door. We know that smell of death. There's just that smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the smell. I suppose Renee as a nurse, when she's worked in it, there's that smell of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, she died in June. She's been left for ages and she was starting to get warm. And I said, look, she's starting to smell. To smell her. It was awful. I had to leave. It wasn't the best.
No, I can believe it.
How can you strip?
I mean, it's not. We go from. It's like changing rooms with, and I don't mean that in a sick way. 1 minute it's under floorboards, then it's in wardrobes, then it's under fucking sink, then it's in walls. It's like changing fucking rooms. Fuck me.
Yeah. Right. So I'll continue. Sorry about that. To dispose of the bodies, he would strip off his clothes and dismember them on the stone kitchen floor using a large kitchen knife. Occasionally, he would also boil the skulls to strip away the flesh, placing the organs and viscera in plastic bags for disposal. He buried the limbs in the garden and the shed, or stuffing the torsos in suitcases until he would incinerate the remains in a bonfire at the end of his garden. At times, he would maintain fires throughout the day without arousing any suspicion from his neighbours. After the fire had consumed the flesh, he typically crushed the bones, and police later discovered thousands of bone fragments in the garden during forensic investigations.
But he must have really burnt them bones. You know as well as I do, Stacey, if you've ever had a fire or not like that, or if you've ever like chucked a carcass on it or not like that, you know how long that's some burning. That had to be some heat to get that into And that was his first one, wasn't it? So that was his first house where they found all these fragments. Yeah. But he must have been seriously burning them bodies, Cruzy, for it to go into dust bone. Let's be honest. Bone don't burn. So that
to see what government's fault.
Hey, what you giving it, Andrew Nilsen's house smelt better.
Oh God, sorry. I just can't stop to smell it. Yeah, it's got to be at a certain temperature to burn.
Well, this is the thing, innit, Kevin, right? As we would, like, if we started doing that, like, I can, the fucking neighbours would be out, why are you having a fire at this time? And what's going on? Clearly, them neighbours were just all blasé to it all.
They had like he had the anti-Karen neighbors. They were not.
It's like here,
question.
I've just moved out next door to me. Then about 5 one night in back garden. Last one 4 doors down. She came round, bought your fucking gate off, and went round back and decked fire out, and then threw a bottle at the house.
I only had a firing garden at my other house. Fucking hell, I had neighbours round carrying on. Mrs. Biddy were out in the street carrying on with them, and that was one fire. That's why I've having 15 years living there, and that must have smelled.
It did.
And then, and not only just to do that, but to boil the skulls on a fucking pan that that cooker that he ate on.
You serious? You know, it's not very clean.
Not very clean. Doesn't understand.
Just saying, you know, you can't then go prep food in there. It's really gross.
No.
He used to eat in there and all. He used to cook them food.
In 1982, in a desperate attempt to stifle his homicidal behaviour, Nilsen moved into a top-floor apartment at 23 Cranley Gardens, Muswell Hill, also in North London, which had no garden and no convenient floorboards. Still unable to
Convenient floorboards.
A further 3 victims were killed in this apartment between his arrival and February 1983. These victims were identified as John Howlett, Archibald Graham Allen, and Stephen Sinclair, and presented Nilsen with much greater disposal challenges. Given the apartment's lack of direct access to outdoor space, he overcame these obstacles by boiling the heads, feet, and hands and dissecting the bodies into small pieces that could be flushed down the toilet and disposed of in plastic bags.
Wrong.
I mean, boiling their hands, the head, and the feet, then dissecting them into small enough pieces to be flushed down bog. Oh.
Cover.
It's perfect polished cover, do you know what I mean?
Oh, that was gross. That is
disgusting.
absolutely gross. And I mean, it's just how he says it, no convenient floorboards.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh, Stacey.
No, I know what you're saying, though.
It's just how you say it.
Yeah,
like,
that's just.
So at Cranley Gardens, there were 5 other tenants, none of whom were well acquainted with Nilsen. In early February 1983, one of these tenants summoned drain specialist Dino Rod to address the blockage. While the tenants, including Nilsen, were present. The technician uncovered a decaying human remains upon descending through the outdoor manhole. It was determined that a comprehensive inspection would take place the following day, after which the police would be notified to conduct an investigation. As Nilsen became increasingly aware of the likelihood of being caught, he attempted to erase evidence by removing the human tissue from the drains that night. However, he was seen by the tenant living below, who grew suspicious of his behaviour. Reports indicate that on the morning of February 9th, 1983, he jokingly told a colleague, "If I'm not in tomorrow, I'll either be ill, dead, or in jail."
Because Dinah Rod come and they found something, but they couldn't because it was late on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It were a bit like this time when it were getting dark, and he did go down manhole and tried to get it. What were down there, but because he flushed, and I know this sounds really grim, a lot of flesh and stuff like that. Just said there were, like when I say about having a turn down toilet and he blocks toilet up. Oh, that's to a whole nother level. Dinah Rod were expecting that. They weren't expecting to find fucking flesh and all that. But what on earth possessed him to flush body parts down the toilet? That's got to be a first, does that? For that time.
At the time, yeah. But I don't know. I can't. It's just trying to get his thought process is difficult.
You can't because you don't understand it. How do you understand it? How do you get into his thought process? Because there's no way of getting it. No, there's just nah.
You can't. You can't even get into his thought process because we're not like him.
No.
But that's taking to a whole new level. I can't lie. Like flushing skin down toilet. I've never known not like it. I've heard of what about in America, Renee? Have you had any serial killers like that over there that have done that?
No, not normally in the toilet that I know of. I mean, you hear about people putting like putting bodies in old wells and things.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I've heard of somebody putting a body in like a leach field, like their septic tank area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's happened
Mhm.
before, but this guy was Dennis the Menace, is what he was.
Yeah. Nilsen was met on the evening of February 9th by Detective Chief Inspector J, who informed him that they wished to question him in relation to the human remains that had been discovered in the drains. Here we go. Upon entering the apartment, Jane noticed a pervasive foul odour and asked Nilsen what it was. At which point, he calmly confessed that they were looking for what was stored in the bags around the apartment, which included 2 dismembered heads and other larger body parts.
Ooh-wee.
At this point, he knew the jig was up, and he saw no point in denying it. So he just went, yeah.
He just literally, when they came in though, Renee, right? They came in, the 2 officers, and he just went, they're in that wardrobe over there.
You know, that is kind of how Dahmer was. Like, they looked in the fridge and there was like human heads in the fridge, and he was like,
well, jig's up.
Yeah. When you've got your God, I guess.
I was doing horrible, but you open the fridge and somebody's head's going, hi!
Can you imagine opening somebody's fridge and there's a human head sitting in there with eyes wide open?
But that reminds me of the Gainesville killer, Gainesville Ripper.
Yeah.
Of him with the head, the kind of shock of finding a head like that.
I mean, them coppers couldn't believe it when he just said they're in there, obviously, when he opened the wardrobe up. He just went, they're in there. As cool as you like, Rennie. No emotion, no nothing, just they're in that wardrobe there.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been doing it for so long.
I'm sure when he got arrested in the car, I'm sure he confessed to more. As he got arrested going into the police station, I think that's where he'd confessed to everything and said, well, look, I've done a lot more than...
So the victims Nilsen was convicted of murdering were Kenneth James Ockenden, 23-year-old Canadian tourist, killed December 1979. Martin Brendan Duffy, a homeless 16-year-old, killed in May 1980. William David Sutherland, 26-year-old man from Edinburgh with a child, killed in August 1980. Malcolm Barlow, 24-year-old orphan, final victim at the Melrose Avenue address. John Peter Howler, a 20-year-old guardsman, the first victim at Craner Gardens flat, killed in March 1982. Stephen Neil Sinclair, the final victim overall, a 20-year-old, killed in 1983.
That is so sad. Look how young.
I mean, 16 is really...
That makes me really angry.
With the non-victims and survivors.
And homeless 16-year-old.
Stephen Dean Holmes, a 14-year-old boy, believed to be Nielsen's first victim in December 1978. Graham Archibald Allen, killed in late 1982. Douglas Stewart and Paul Nobbs were victims of attempted murder who survived. This is the gentleman we were discussing earlier. Carl Stotter was another survivor. Now, Carl's the one we were discussing about his throat. He actually zipped him up in a sleeping bag, drowned him in the bath, revived him, and then dropped him off at home.
Imagine the PTSD you'd have from that.
He's got it so bad.
Yeah. Fucking hell, won't be able to sleep or anything.
Carl Stotter is the one out of all Nielsen's victims that survived. Carl
Stotter is He's the only one that's ever come out and publicly spoken, though, hasn't he?
Yes.
The other 2 have never come out and publicly spoken. I mean, if you ever get a chance to watch that documentary, that TV series they did on him, Nilsen, it's a what? Yeah, it even looks like my mum watched it because she said it looked too like him.
Is it the one with like David Tennant, isn't it?
Yeah,
he really does look like that.
I've seen it.
I've seen it. Renee. I was side by side, the mugshot of Nielsen and the mugshot portrayed in the TV series David Tennant. It's so creepily similar. It's so eerie.
Isn't it? It's quite scary actually. Look at
it again, by the way. Arrest and trial. Upon his arrest, he provided comprehensive information regarding his killing spree. Sorry about the exclamation mark. I just realised I needed to move that. Acknowledging the attempted murder of confessing to the murder of 15 young men, even after receiving a legal warning. He also acknowledged the attempted murder of 7 others, although he can only identify 4 of them. Throughout the process, he displayed no signs of remorse and seemed keen to help the police gather evidence against him, even leading them to his former residence to indicate specific disposal locations. Following his confession, Nilsen was detained at Brixton Prison while awaiting trial. Here we go. During his time there, he filled over 50 notebooks with recollections to the aid of prosecution and created what he called sad sketches that illustrated his treatment of some of the victims. He appeared indifferent about his future, oscillating between a lack of remorse and concerns regarding public perception of him. He dismissed his legal counsel, then reinstated him, only to terminate his services again shortly before the trial commenced.
In the UK, can someone choose to represent themselves in court?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you in America, Renee?
Yes, and the saying is that the man who represents himself has a fool for a client. That's the big.
Yep.
Yeah. And another question here about receiving a legal warning. Is that like in the US when they read you your Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent? Anything you say
basically
against you?
His lawyer would say, I recommend you do not reply to that. No comment.
Shut up. Yeah, this is not going to go.
Yeah, basically, but he refused.
No comment.
Yeah,
he refused.
Shut the hell up now.
He knew he was done for if that made. He knew he was after that. I think he did that. But I'll be honest with you, I think he took a great thrill and a sexual thrill in telling the police everyone he'd done, going through it all. I think he got an absolute thrill out of telling the police. I really do. I think he was that kind of bloke that, you know, or because some people, and you've seen this with murderers, some people will sit in there and even though police know they've done it, they will sit in there and say no comment. There's been people convicted where there's no body, Rennie, and they've been convicted and they've stayed silent to this day. They're still in prison now. They'll never admit where the body is buried. For example, Susie Lampo, for example. You know, did it. He's gone to grave and we'll never know where she's buried. And I just genuinely believe the reconnection of it all really give him a cheap thrill. Like he loved it. That was his power. That was his last song to say, well, I did this. Because when he did what he did, the police didn't realise that he had other property before that, right? So if he wouldn't have admitted to what he did, they probably wouldn't have even checked that property out. No, and he'd have probably only got things for the bodies that were in the house.
Yeah. In the flat. Told him about
You're right, love.
He openly admitted there were more bodies in this first one because I think the first house has been demolished.
He remembered them all, Rennie. Like he remembered the names. Yeah. You know when he met them, and it's very as a serial killer. I don't know many that can absolutely remember everyone they've killed and every name they've killed and who they were, where they picked them up from. You know, that's quite a stupid person to do that.
Like Total Recall, and you can remember second.
And I've seen some of them sketches, what he'd done. I don't know if Stacey's seen any of them. And they do.
I've not added them, but yes, I have.
I have seen them, and they do really are very close to what he actually did do in there. And do you know what, right? And I'll be honest with you, some of those got actually sold and people bought those.
Oh, yes.
That kind of stuff in prison, and then he could sell them because, believe it or not, I don't know why we're allowed to do it in this country, but the drawings can be sold.
I think they might have finally stopped that in the US, but it was the same shit where these people are murdering others and then like
profiting from it.
You know, these drawings and stuff of what they've done to victims, and like so further victimizing both the person that they killed and their family. Now getting money for it. Like it's disgusting.
Yeah, I think
Jeffrey Dahmer's father is a prime example of that, Renee. Jeffrey Dahmer's father was writing a book.
Yeah,
and victims' families got a petition out to stop his father from profiting from this book. So the
question is, who in their right mind would actually want to buy those sketches? Look, I know people say it's art, Renee, right? And there's all different kinds of art, like a tomato bottle. I've seen all these silly art things to do. But would you want one of his paintings on your wall?
I Rust book it's art.
I'm looking at these sketches now. I'm looking at these sketches now on Instagram, and this is actually really revolting.
The bad art, though.
It's
And
bad.
would you want that hanging in your front room with Mrs.
No.
Biggie coming out for a cup of tea? Absolutely not.
I mean, why anybody would want to look at this?
And you know what? He sold them, and people
Yeah.
bought them because there's some people out there, as we've seen what we did with that bloke before we were going to get married in prison. That some people actually get a thrill out of that.
Yeah.
They think it's art. It's going to be words, something like that. Ain't art to me.
No, it's not.
Belfield, yes.
Yeah, Belfield, that's it, Steve, right? Would you want a piece of his artwork hanging in your room?
No, not really. I like
I've
crime and stuff, but no. Oh, speaking of
I
crime,
wouldn't want that. Like, I get it with what's his name with beard, who's been in there since Manson. Now, some of his artwork is really nice, Manson.
Mm.
Him.
But it
And
doesn't
his
depict
memoirs.
it doesn't depict his
Do you know those
his
notebooks? They were sold on in auction, those
Yes.
notebooks.
Yeah. And
People actually bought them
actual
notebooks, Rennie.
the TV series is based on the book that was written by a bloke who I think to this day is still friends with Nilsen.
Well, he's dead now. I think he died.
Yeah, Nilsen is dead.
Yeah, he's dead, isn't he now? I think he was 72 when he died.
He died.
The scary thing is, but what I will say to you is, regarding him when he did die, he died in excruciating pain with internal bleeding.
Yes,
he died a very painful death.
Painful death.
Died in York, which isn't far from us.
Yeah.
But
His trial began on October 24th, 1983. Nilsen faced 6 murder charges and 2 counts of attempted murder. He entered a plea of shock horror, not guilty, for all allegations, claiming diminished responsibility due to a mental defect. Prosecution's case was largely based on detailed interview notes obtained during his arrest, which took more than 4 hours to present verbatim to the jury. Additionally, the testimony of 3 victims, Paul Nobbs, Douglas Stewart, and Carl Stotter, who had escaped and were nearly strangled by him, were crucial. This is what I mentioned earlier. Although Nilsen's defence attempted to discredit victims' testimonies by presenting evidence of their sexual interaction with him, distressing narratives they provided significantly weakened the defence position. So basically, they used the 3 survivors, they used their homosexuality against them in the trial.
Gross.
So what they perceived was sexual promiscuity.
Oh, they've done that.
That them going home with Nilsen, not knowing Nilsen, was used against them.
Hmm. Gotta love victim blaming.
Yeah, basically, this was the epitome of victim blaming back then.
You reckon he did have diminished responsibility due to a mental defect, though?
No, I don't think he actually.
I think he knew. I think he knew the difference between right and wrong. He knew enough to hide the bodies, so that tells me he knew what he was doing was wrong, and he had to cover it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't like this cop out with diminished responsibilities in a certain respect. Like, you're right, Renee. He were quick enough to pick them up. He were quick enough to bring them home. He were quick enough to cut the bodies up. He knew all that, what to do. But then the part of me thinks, you've got to be insane to do that.
Mm.
There's got to be something mentally up there wrong with you to do that.
I mean, the thing, it's not like a temporary insanity. Like, sometimes you'll hear about cases where it's temporary insanity that someone kills someone else. Like, you find out that someone killed your kid and you go into a blind rage and you beat them to death. Like, I understand that, right? But if you're luring someone to your house and you've got it all planned out, like, you're not crazy. You're thinking clearly enough that you're going to do those things. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're thinking clearly enough to, like, make plans. You're thinking clearly enough that this is definitely wrong. You've got to get rid of these bodies because you know you're going to go to jail for that. Like, to me, no, that's not temporary insanity. Temporary insanity is something where, like, finding out someone murdered your kid and you kill them and it's like right then. Do you know what I mean? Like, that to me is temporary insanity.
See, diminished responsibility is used quite a lot in England, Renee. It is used as quite a lot. I think Beverly Allen ended up with that. She's in Rampton, which is a mental hospital. Yorkshire Ripper ended up in Broadmoor.
Yeah.
It is quite a bit. I mean, I get it and I get that side of it, but then I think, like, something's not up there quite right, Renee.
Yeah, no, you're not hardwired correctly.
Like that. You know, like,
yeah.
But it is used a lot in this country as diminished responsibility.
They try it a lot here. You know, the one that I went along with, the one, I don't know if you remember that, Andrea Yates that drowned her children in the bathtub. She had 3 or 4 kids and drowned them in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
That woman to me was like not mentally, like truly, I think she was insane. And she went to a mental hospital, like an inpatient mental hospital, you know, criminal mental hospital, and she is there to this day. I think that was the correct call. Because that woman
use that because they don't want. See, I use it. I think it's always a cop out, me, Rennie, because I think a lot of them use it because they know in a mental institute, Broadmoor, for example, Rampton, it's totally different from being in a prison environment. So they know by claiming insanity or mental defect that they will not be put into a prison. They will be sectioned indefinitely under the Mental Health Act, which is totally different from going to a Category A prison, in my opinion, because there's a few that I like it, but Beverly Allen, for example. Yeah. Now, I'm going back to 93, 94 with nurses and stuff like that, but she's in Rampton to this day, Renee, and that was in 1993, and she still says she didn't do it, and she will not admit it. She's been in Rampton for 30 odd years. Yeah. So with that, you knew what you were doing, in my opinion, but they tried to use that defence because they know that in for an easier ride in a mental institute, in my opinion, than they are in a Category A prison.
I hear you. And yes, Cuba, that's the same woman. And I pin a lot of that on her husband because at one point he had moved her and those children. They were living on a school bus. She had 4 little kids, the 3 boys and the baby daughter living on a school bus. Like, I'm sorry. And then he walked away from all of it and remarries and has this whole other family. And like, I'm sorry. No. Like, I would go crazy living on a school bus with 4 tiny children, like, and I don't have a place to bathe them and keep them clean. And like, what? No. Like, that case was insane. And she was like not mentally well. I think he drove her to be not mentally well. Yeah, exactly, Kuba. She was one that you just listened to her. And apparently to this day, she feels now that she's better. I mean, she's just destroyed that she killed her children, you know, and it's sad. That one was just a sad, sad case. But I would agree with Jess. I think it's few and far between people that actually temporarily insane, you know, diminished capacity. I would say it's a hell of a lot less than people who try to claim it.
And especially when he's had no previous of mental, he's been on tablets or he's been, you know, psychotic or all like that, you know, like in, what do they call it? Psychopath or delusional thoughts. Yeah. There's none of that in his psychotic and all that. There's none of that in his previous, even growing up as a kid. There's nothing there that says, you know, like he had these thoughts or, you know, he was on the medication for it. A bit like with Michael Stone, where it did say time and time he would go into them, they were chucking him away, and he did have mental schizophrenia and stuff like that.
So it's got a broad part.
You know, for me, I just think he wanted an easier ride of it. That being in a Category A prison, for example, like Wormwood Scrubs, to going into Rampton Mental Secure Hospital is a totally different kettle of fish. It really is. From prison to a secure hospital in this country, it's massive. It's totally different.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'm probably wrong. What do I know?
It's right. Easy ride. That's what things. If we say we're mentally insane, then we're getting easy ride. And a lot of people don't call it and shout it, and then in fact they're not. It's the way they are.
Physical evidence comprised photographs of murder scenes, along with the chopping board utilised to dismember the victims and the cooking pot. Sorry, I knew that'd happen. Give me 2 seconds. I'll go back to the other slide.
Go on, I'll read it. You go, I'll read it. Do you want to read it, Renee?
I can read it for you. Arrest and trial. Physical evidence comprised photographs of the murder scenes, along with the chopping board utilized to dismember the victims, and the cooking pot that was used to boil the skulls, feet, and hands, which is currently exhibited at the Black Museum in Scotland Yard. The defense's argument was largely based on the testimonies of two psychiatrists, Dr. James McKeith and Dr. Patrick Galway. McKeith recounted Nilsen's difficult childhood, his struggle to articulate emotions, and the consequent disconnection between mental processes and physical actions, which influenced his self-identity, suggesting a lack of full responsibility on Nilsen's part. However, during rigorous cross-examination by the prosecution, McKeith was compelled to withdraw his assessment regarding diminished responsibility.
Sound like a movie.
Why would you want to put that in a museum, that cooking pot? Who the fuck wants to go visit that?
You know, in the FBI museum, they took the Unabomber, like, remember that Unabomber guy that blew up all the stuff in America over all these years? He lived in this tiny shack out in, like, Colorado in the middle of nowhere. Like, they moved the entire shack and have it on display in the FBI museum. Weird.
Oh, that's grim.
I mean, that's crazy.
Why would you want to go visit that? Going up to Scotland. I tell you what, I'm going up to Scotland to see that cooking pot that we used to boil skulls, feet, and hands.
And then
Yeah.
I would go through this Black Museum. It's probably got some interesting stuff. The Scotland Yard Museum.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going, like, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like a pretty
Intrigue now.
museum.
Road trip.
It is, isn't it, Drew? Or is it just me? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't go to see the pot, but I'm just saying that Black Museum.
yeah, the museum sounds interesting,
Yeah.
but I never
That's
knew
big.
that cooking pot were kept in a museum, Rennie.
It is strange.
I didn't do the research.
That's
I go
gross.
see it just for the fascination side of things. Like, you know, when you hear especially Dennis's crimes are well known in the UK, you know, and you hear all this stuff. I think people like myself who find this kind of thing fascinating, I'd love to go see well, how could he possibly done it? And then if you see it for yourself, you're like, oh well, maybe, you know, it makes sense type thing.
You know, the funny thing about that, Kuba, is the more of this AI shit comes online and it's causing all these problems, the more you start reading that manifesto by Kaczynski and going, this is getting a little too on the nose.
Yeah, a little too on the nail. Just swung it off again.
That's another one you could do, Stace, is the Unabomber. He was an interesting one.
That's on the list.
That guy was
Let me just double
a
check.
genius.
That is on the list. Oh, it's not. Thank you. I've actually got the list up. Now it's on the list.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. He's still alive and is in that Florence Supermax prison in Colorado, where 23 hours of the day you're in lockdown. It's meant so that you never see another person. Yeah. And they've designed the windows where you can't tell exactly where you are in there. It's very creepy, that Florence Supermax.
Yeah. The second psychiatrist, Galloway, assessed Nilsen as experiencing a false self syndrome, which is marked by episodes of schizoid disturbances that render him unable to engage in premeditation. However, much of his testimony was highly technical, prompting the judge to question the complexity of Galloway's diagnosis. The prosecution presented Dr. Paul Bowden as the rebuttal psychiatrist who dedicated significant time to evaluating Nilsen. He found little evidence to support the claims made by the defense psychiatrist. Dr. Bowden indicated that Nilsen exhibited manipulative behavior along with some indications of mental irregularity, yet he remained aware of and accountable for his actions.
I think that's bullshit saying he can't premeditate. Like, he was premeditating. He was
Possible.
lured to his house. Like, that's all premeditation.
Well, they were premeditated because as soon as he knew they were going to leave the house, he knew we were going to kill him, Renee.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all premeditated. Like, come on. I don't want to hear it.
And I don't believe he was psychotic.
I mean, clearly he's wronging. There's something wrong.
Yeah, he's wired up wrong, Renee, but I don't think he was mentally ill. In my opinion, I don't know. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Because he carried on doing it. He killed 15, Rennie. tried to do another 7. And if it wouldn't have been for bloody Dinah Rod, God knows how many more he'd have gone on to kill.
Bring up to Dinah Rod.
And he went, look, Renee, he didn't go for run-at-mill people, like middle of the road, people that had been missed. He had a certain type, like people he'd pick up in a pub at 16, 15, and that. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew exactly who to go for, in my opinion.
The homeless 16-year-old, the kid that was a orphan in his early 20s. I mean, it's people that, it's like that Green River serial killer that was going after prostitutes, knowing that these are women that are addicts. These are women that will go away for long periods of time. Like, family's not looking for these women. They know what they're doing. It's all premeditation. Sorry.
Yeah,
I agree.
So what are you doing week after me then, Stace, before we move on to the next slide?
Let's take a look at the list. So
I said, it's all right. You can message me. I'll do it from now for it. That's all.
I haven't thought of it yet, because the Memphis 3 was on the top of the list, and I need more time with that one, because like I said, that's a bit.
I'm not saying he won't crazy cool, but I'm not saying I don't think he was mentally ill neither.
Yeah.
I'll go through the list and I'll decide.
Get back to me.
I think in the US, when you talk about somebody getting like temporary insanity, it means that they literally can't understand the difference between right and wrong in that minute. And I don't think that fits this guy. Like, this guy knew what he was doing was wrong. So I just don't think, although he clearly something was mentally wrong with the guy, I don't think, just based on what we're looking at here, I just don't see how he would qualify for, like, didn't understand the difference between right and wrong.
I just think he would feel a bit lonely. And maybe because when he was on his own, like when his mum had all them kids in his next marriage, maybe that's where he's got it from, because he did feel isolated with another 4 kids and another. So maybe that's what it is.
And I don't know, Coogs, I don't know if it's the same legal requirement as it is here over there. Like that to get the temporary insanity over here, it has to be like, you can't understand the difference between right or wrong. Like, you are so mentally disturbed.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
I agree.
Okay, to continue.
They get checked in, don't they, as well? For assessments here for them.
Almost doesn't know anywhere.
Listen, Drew, before I move on, if it's like Harry's shit, love, no wonder. Say no more.
In conclusion, the judge eliminated most of the psychiatric test terminology that had confused the jury, clarifying that mind can possess evil traits without being classified as abnormal. The jury convened on November 3rd, 1983, but could not arrive to a unanimous decision. The next day, the judge consented to accept a majority verdict, which is very rare in the UK. At 4:25 p.m., they announced a guilty verdict on all 6 murder charges. The judge sentenced Dennis Nilsen to life imprisonment with no possibility of parole for a minimum of 25 years. Nilsen passed away in prison in 2018.
I like that your judges can overturn, like, you don't have to have a unanimous jury decision. That, I think,
especially
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what's scary though? How they didn't reach a unanimous decision on that case.
Yeah. I think the difference, like, what I bet it is, like, the meltdown that probably happened in that jury room had to do with, can you be evil and sane? Or if you are evil, does that make you crazy? Because, here the judge's clarification, and I have a feeling that the jury probably asked for clarification on the legal standard. He's saying, look, no, a mind can possess evil traits without being classified as abnormal. I'd be willing to bet the jury asked for the legal clarification.
True.
So, yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for people that are on these really bad jury cases. I do have a lot of respect for them. That's rough. You're not getting paid. And you have to listen to a lot and see a lot.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was in Vegas. She had to be on a jury case for a young woman in her early 20s who was murdered and dismembered by an ex-boyfriend. And she had to go to like therapy and get medication after because she wasn't able to sleep. It was bad. So I mean, I appreciate that people are willing to sit in a jury and listen to all these horrible things and then do their best to come up with a fair, a fair judgment for a person, and they take it seriously. I have a lot of respect for that.
Agreed.
So, this is Cranley Gardens, where his crimes have come to light here. He placed the victims under the floorboards as he had no garden to dispose of bodies like his previous home. There's film clips of Dennis in his previous home showing said garden where his victims will be found.
It looks like such a pretty house. It really looks like it's really pretty.
Yeah, so this is Melrose Avenue, where Dennis' first crimes were committed. He used the gallery to help dispose of victims by burning them. This is where homemade videos of Dennis showing off this home.
With his dog in it and that bloke who we stayed with for 2 years. That's the videos in it, yeah.
Did they tear this? Did they tear this house down?
No, they're both still there, the houses.
Oh, God.
That one not there. The other one is though, isn't it, where Dinah Rod was?
The flat's still there.
Yeah.
But Melrose Avenue was demolished. Because when they demolished it, because he was in the bottom flat.
And he had bodies that's under the floorboards, right?
Yeah. When they demolished the house, they actually checked for any more bones.
Oh, gracious me.
They did that with Cromwell House, didn't they, as well? They knocked that one down after.
Yeah, Fred and Rose West. Yeah, that's just a walkway now, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
And the same with BTK's home. Demolished that as well. But the funny thing is, though, I'm just going to go back to the flat. When all this came to light, the real estate agent allowed people to look in the flat.
Oh, that's just.
Yeah. Wasn't he making a little sideline out of it, Stacey? Doing like.
I bet he was charging
money for it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure he was charging a little side admission fee. Yeah, that's gross. And he should have lost his real estate license for that, in my opinion.
Honestly, he was taking them around like fantasy tours. She's right, He was charging them money to go around and look. And people paid it.
Nasty.
Yeah, people paid it. Right. As mentioned earlier, the TV series and stuff like that. So we go.
He's dead.
This is what I mean by side, Renee.
That's uncanny, I have to say.
Yeah. Mum won't watch it because she says he looks so much like him. Mum won't watch that, Mrs. Biddy.
Well, there was one on Sutcliffe, and I can't remember who the actor was that was playing him, but it was like a dead ringer for Sutcliffe.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one you're on about. Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
So Dennis has had books and TV series made about his crimes, which did not go down well with some of the victims' family. Some feeling it was glorifying his crimes. The TV series can be found on Netflix, but was originally shown on ITV. Starring David Tennant portraying Dennis Nilsen with great accuracy. Some viewers have said that his resemblance to the serial killer was creepy, myself included. So that's his actual mugshot, Nielsen's mugshot, and that's the mugshot taken in the TV series.
It's quite scary.
It's just it does exactly, Alison.
Eerie is what it is.
Yeah. So
Cuba.
For hiring, when doing films like that, this is just top class casting. Because obviously David Tennant is Scottish, so he actually got to speak in his native accent rather than having to
disguise it.
Yeah. So David being actual Scottish was a selling point for me because we know it was an accurate accent rather than one that's put on. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, that. So here is the photos from the show, comparing them to the actual photos taken by the media at the time, and two of the books published, which I own. The blue one, Russell owns The History of the Drowning Boy. So that's the actual photo at the top. There's the photo was taken at the media at the time of his trial, and that was depicted in the Des TV. So even pictures from the actual trial and like him coming out of jail, which was actually shown all over media at the time, I think they actually portrayed that in Des as well to complete accuracy. This is I'm sometimes funny when it comes to watching dramatizations of serial killers, especially one who was well known as Dennis. I do go in thinking what the change, but this was spot on. It was accurate from what I could recall. Like, for example, the Ed Gein one on Netflix, I've been told it's not accurate at all. So I won't be watching it.
I mean, if you're going to make a crime documentary about somebody that's done something, you should stick to the facts and not make it something it's not.
I understand they've got to Hollywoodize it a little bit.
Yeah,
you know.
No, it shouldn't.
No.
It should be as it is.
The Ed Gein one that did.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
I read a lot of reviews and I won't watch it. I'm sorry, if it's not going to be accurate, I'm not going to watch it.
See, it's got to be accurate.
Jeffrey Dahmer one, that was accurate. And even him, he creeped me the fuck out because he looked like him and all. You know, top fucking hat off to the casting crew on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said, I think I've got the Killing for Company, and Russell's got History of the Drowning Boy, which is about, if I'm not mistaken, Carl Stotter. I think so. But Brian Masters one is the one that's used in the TV series Des, based on the conversations with him. So it's creepy. And then, as Kevin politely said, there's a picture of Dennis Nilsen as a copper. And this photo here is actually taken from a clip in the video.
Yeah.
The whole video that it's got. You want to go watch? Just obviously it was before.
I sent you it, Remy. It's on Netflix. I've just sent you a link for it. If you get time to watch it.
Yeah, I will watch it.
So the home clips you see.
True, Drula.
True.
Very true.
True. So the things you see in the home videos was obviously before he started killing, but obviously
that one he went with that bloke on it.
Yeah, it is. It's scary accurate that in it, Jules. How David Tennant looks so much like him.
You won't watch it because it looks so much like him. I'll be honest, you won't watch it.
So, this has been Dennis Nilsen, dubbed UK Jeffrey Dahmer. And obviously you've been put your thoughts away through the stream, but what are your thoughts, guys?
Sick, demented.
Guilty as charged, Your Honour.
Whoa.
Sad state of affairs is, though, even though he was only done for 6, after the fact, after he was convicted, they started identifying more.
Yeah, they did.
And still to this day, some are unidentified.
Exactly.
See, the thing is, though, when they've done so many killings, they don't charge them anymore because there's no point.
No point, because they're going to stay in. Yeah.
I mean, it's wrong because he's killed them.
Yeah.
But he got away with their murders and he should have been.
See, because a lot of the bodies in that first house, he burnt them, and he burnt them to singes by bone fragments, and I mean more or less dust. You can't tell who that was.
No,
there's no fingerprints. There's no dental to regard with dental records or anything like that.
There's no marrow, nothing.
No, exactly.
As advanced as it was now.
Well, DNA didn't come out till 1986. Didn't DNA. In fact, that's another case to actually look at how that started, the DNA, because there were 2 lasses that got killed, and obviously that's where DNA came from. No, that would I'll have to get into that one, but that's another interesting one. They've done a dramatisation on that one as well, actually, how the DNA, how he cloned the DNA to the chases. But yeah. But regarding next week, if anybody hasn't heard of him, Rosie, have you heard of Michael Sams?
Yes.
The one with one leg?
Yes, he had the glass in the...
He had a prostitute from Leeds.
Yeah, Julie Dark.
Unfortunately, she got murdered, but I'm going to go into that one next week, so it will be Michael Sams next week. For
I don't know that one.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Michael Sams was accused of doing... Stephanie Slater.
Stephanie Slater, yes. But Renee can read for me next week. She's got a nice voice.
All right. When are we going to do Sutcliffe?
Sutcliffe. Get Stacey to do it week after. She's not sure what she wants to do on American ones. There you go. Get Stacey to do Sutcliffe week after. There you go, Stacey.
I'll do Sutcliffe next.
Michael Sams, and then Sutcliffe. But Michael Sams was, do you know what, right? And this is very true. So I don't want to spoil it for everybody because that's next week, but they never knew who it was that had done this, right?
No,
and they did a crime watch appeal.
Yep.
And when he phoned the estate agents for this ransom money, he said, the estate agent said something to him and he says, never you mind. And that's all he said, well, never you mind. And do you know what? His wife recognised his fucking voice, and that's how they caught the bastard, because they didn't know who it was, because this guy was very clever in it.
That I heard that story. The wife heard the voice and was like, wait a minute.
I know that. Well, they were divorced, but he said he rang this estate agent up, and obviously they tapped the phone, and they asked him something at the estate agent, but I'll get into it more next week. And all he said was, never you mind. As simple as that. And she were watching it at the time, and that's how they caught him. And bearing in mind, this guy only had one leg.
Yeah.
Because he had a prosthetic leg, and he left, not just that, he left all these clues around. It wasn't just like where he wanted the ransom money. It were all these clues and phones and stuff left in telephone boxes at the time. It's a very, very interesting.
Did he add the bridge on the last?
Yeah, the last one, he put a cat box on the top, and he had to pull the ransom down, and he had a motorbike that got him away down the train paths. And he was from Keithley, Michael Sams. He was from Yorkshire.
Bastard.
He was a very clever man. I'm not, disputing what he did, but the only reason they caught him is because of wife. Never you mind. All that's saying, never you mind. So it'll be interesting to get into that one next week, because there is things that they reckon he's done other than the two that he's done. So I will get the PDF done this week, send it out. But if you want to do a bit of research on Michael Sams, that's next week's case. And then Stacey.
I do remember doing that.
Yes, Stacey. There you go.
I know she's going to give me that one.
Put a whiteboard on your wall so you can write.
No, but I've explained to you off stream.
I know. I don't mind doing it. I don't.
I know. And we've got a Christmas quiz coming up on 19th, just full Christmas. It's going to be a bonanza quiz, though. That 100 quiz questions on Christmas. Films, music, everything. So that's something to look forward to. Next Sunday will be Michael Sams, and the week after will be Peter Sutcliffe. And then we may take a break from it just over the Christmas period, because I don't think you want to be hearing about murder over the festive merry time. Can't lie. And then we'll regroup back the week after January, I think. So this week, next week, crime. I don't think you want to be hearing about murders when you're eating your Christmas dinner with family and enjoying family time.
I don't know. Depends who you want to
I don't know about many festive murders. So.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's fine.
Typically not very many festive murders.
I didn't want to offend anybody by, Christmas bringing into murders. Yeah, we could talk about Santa instead. Take care, Vinny, and thanks for the super chat. I'll get my Toblerone, don't worry, since you bring me back. That's a crime. Not even worth a Toblerone. There we go. Yeah, Home Alone will be in quiz.
Fucking love Home Alone.
Stacey can do 50 questions.
Home Alone is perfect.
And I'll do 50 questions.
Just that, Home Alone.
Yeah? You up for that?
Yeah.
What are you going to keep on? In fact, no, we'll sit backstage, and between me and you, we will do the quiz questions together, so we don't get the same questions. We'll sit backstage and do that. Yeah, because we might, with general knowledge, it's very vast. It's very unlikely that we're going to pick the same questions, but Christmas, we could end up with the same. So don't put it in your diary. 19th of December, 100 questions bonanza on Christmas. Has anybody got anything else they would like to say before we wrap this one up?
Sorry for giving you nightmares again. Oh, yeah. Would any panel or chat, I have spoken about this bloke before, would you have any objections to me doing the a presentation on Ed Gein? I know it's very, very gruesome.
Listen, you watch it at your own peril.
Yeah, watch it at your own peril.
I don't need to watch
panel about him, and it's just horrific.
Well,
I'll never look at a landlord in the same way again, facts, but we'll go with it. So that can be the case after Christmas then, Stace.
Yeah. Sweet.
If you're alone on New Year's Eve, we'll do it New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing out for New Year. I won't be going out. Then again, I thought we'd have something a bit light-hearted on New Year's Eve, like a party, karaoke,
No, we
party
could do.
away, some
We could
party
do a
games.
crime. Do a
Oh,
crime
I've got
stream.
some quiz. I've got some games for the panel on New Year's Eve though.
Yeah.
Oh,
That I've got
Stacey,
in
show me your
especially.
tits.
Oh, that I've got in
Tits
especially.
out front, lads, lass.
No.
Definitely not doing that, but it won't take Stacey long.
And it,
Hey.
the cure,
It's not
makes
going
it
out
bigger.
to see. Anyway, Roland might get us those New Year's Eve answers in this year. We might know won that quiz. It's only a year, like.
Yeah, we did.
She has no mercy. But unless anybody's got anything else to say, I think we'll wrap this one up, peeps.
Enjoyed that.
Bless up to Stacey. Great work as always. Big up to Renee for joining us over the weekend when she's been hard at work all week. Bless up. Big up to Cruzy, who's going to fuck that van up as always. Rust bucket on the road, incoming. And big up to myself for just appearing. But on that note, guys.
I'm winning the F1.
Oh, I liked you. I did. Now you can get fucked.
Hello. Anytime, Drula, anytime.
You know what? I'm glad he won. Do you know why? Because he's an English guy, and it's about time somebody else took over the world.
All of us saying thank you and all.
Verstappen.
You say may as well.
So, research for this week or your homework, Michael Sams. Next Sunday, 8 p.m. You know where to be. On that note, big up to everybody for the weekend. Big up to Stacey and Renee for helping me out today. It's appreciated as always.
Anytime.
One team on this channel, one team. We do it the right way. You know when it's real on this channel. And on that bombshell, it's a good night from me and Don't Have Nightmares.
And it's a goodbye from her. And I'll reiterate it. Don't have nightmares.
Yeah. And it's a good night for me. And lock your doors and lock your windows and just lock it.
It's good night for all. Just make sure your doors are definitely locked and you got
Lock up your doors. Lock up your wife's or your husband's because Jules on the prowl.
Dude.
Don't have nightmares. Get a Horlicks. Get into bed. And we'll see you all tomorrow on Manchester United versus Wolves. Peace out, guys. Bless up. And like I said, don't have nightmares. And take care of yourself. Love us all.
Like and share, we shall see next time on True Crime Duo. Make the right choices. Please don't have nightmares. Till next time.